Hi, thank you for joining me again. What do you say we get to work and flip that switch in your brain from neutral or failure to success? I have 7 principles. These are in the book, although I revised them just a little bit after the book came out. So you may have a version with this latest version. We're going to put this in the next printing. Or you may have one of the old versions, and they're not much different, but I'm going to be using the revised version that I did after the book came out. And I would highly, 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 highly recommend that you do what I'm about to share with you and then not go any further for at least 40 days. I would really like you to go longer if it hadn't happened to you in 40 days, but that's your decision. In working with people over the last 25 plus years in helping one person at a time or groups in counseling and therapy and other things flip their switch to success, my favorite way of doing that is what I call a transformational aha. And that's what happened to me 27 years ago. I had a transformational aha. I didn't really do anything that was work or processes or tools or anything like that. I simply prayed and meditated over some new truths that I discovered and felt like God was showing to me. And one moment, it happened. I felt it. Okay? And in the book, I described the context of that I felt like one thing that occurred to me after Hope kicked me out of the house is that not only did I not love Hope, but that I didn't even know what love was, which offended me when I first had that thought and thought it was God saying that to me. But later, I agreed with it, that I didn't love Hope, not really, and I didn't really know what love was. That what I had been doing toward Hope, and when I said all the time, I love you, was really what we've come to call in the United States, what's in it for me. It's what I call business deal love. I'll do this for you if you do this for me, but I won't do this for you if you don't do this for me. Okay? Well, that's not love. That's a business deal. That's a negotiation. That's what's in it for me. And so then in what's in it for me, if you quit doing something that we had talked about was your part of the agreement, or maybe we hadn't even talked about it, I just assumed it. If you quit doing that, or if you start doing something that I don't want you to do, then what happens? I get angry, or frustrated, or irritated, something in the anger or anxiety family. Or that would happen with Hope if I didn't do something that she thought I was supposed to be doing. Okay? And that's how you can tell. Anytime you're experiencing something in the anger or anxiety family, you've got a wrong goal. You've got an external or physical goal, from the genie exercise that we did in the previous segment. Okay? And that turns your failure switch on and all the negative stuff for your life. So we don't want that. We want to go to success. Okay? So what I came to realize is that real love is all in, nothing held back, no plan B, no safety net, no matter what you do, forever. And when I realized that, I felt like I heard God say to me, not an audible voice, it was in my mind. And you may think, well, how do you know it was God? I don't want to get stuck on that. I can't prove it was God. It could possibly have been my mind or something. I can see that. But I thought it was God. And what I felt like he asked me was, okay, Alex, now that you know what real love is, are you willing to live it? I'd been living in fear all my life, and that's what turns on the failure switch, is fear. Love turns on the success switch. And I didn't answer that question quickly because I knew this is a big deal. This is almost like making a vow or something. I don't need to agree to this unless I really intend to do it. So anyway, I took some time, a number of days, may have been longer than that, may have been 2 or 3 weeks, I don't remember exactly, and prayed about it, meditated on it, and I came to a point and I said a prayer, and I said, I will do it. I know I can't do it perfectly, but as best I can, I will love, really love, Hope. All in, nothing held back, no plan B, no matter what she does or doesn't do, forever. And the instant I committed to that is when I felt the transformational aha happen. And I felt it physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, in my thoughts. In every way you can feel something or experience something, I experienced it as soon as I committed. Now, it wasn't a light commitment. I meant it from the marrow of my bones. And I would advise that to you too. You've got to really, truly commit to this. Not, I'm going to stick my toe in the water, and then if it doesn't happen in 40 days, I'm out of here. No. This is a from now on kind of thing. I'm going to commit to living in love in the present moment, or I'm not. I'm going to keep living by external circumstances and end results. Okay? So I committed, and it happened. But then, in my counseling practice, I thought, man, this is awesome. I'll just teach all of my clients, what love really is, what business deal love really is, the genie thing, and have them start living that and commit to it. But you know what? Not one of them could do it. Not a single one. In fact, I had this one guy who was a great guy, really nice guy, and he was even sarcastic to me, which is out of character for him. He said, after I explained that to him, he said, yeah, thanks a lot, Doc. I'll just start that right after lunch. And I stopped him. I said, whoa, wait a minute. Why did you say that way? And he said, well, doesn't everybody know that? Doesn't everybody know that they want to experience and live in love and joy and peace in the right now, in the present moment, all the time, if that's possible? He said, I certainly do, and I've tried that I don't know how many times. The problem is I can't do it. The reason I'm here talking to you is I can't do it, okay? And so I realized that some people need tools. All right. So the first thing, and over the course of those 25 years, I found the tools that I'm going to be sharing with you in later segments of how to do it on demand. And the first one was these 7 principles to pray and meditate on. And over 50% of my clients, after I developed these, and which took me years, over 50% of my clients, I would say probably at least 60%, maybe a few more, would have the transformational aha like I did, just from nothing else but praying and meditating over these 7 principles. And that's continued to happen after the book came out. We've had people tell us all over the world, yes, I prayed and meditated over the principles, and the transformational aha happened for me, and it's beyond words, it's unbelievable, I'll never be the same, all that. So my recommendation is to pray and meditate over these 7 principles that are at the end of chapter 1 in the book, for at least 40 days. I would really say do it as long as it takes, but at least 40 days before you go on to the more tangible, I'll say, tools that will make it happen by deprogramming and reprogramming your, what I call human hard drive, your programming. Okay? All right? So I'm going to read these real quick because these are a little bit revised from the book. But no matter which version of the book you have, those principles will work fine. Okay? Number one, it's not your fault. Man, I would just close your eyes and let that wash over you and through you for a second. It's not your fault. And I don't care what you've done or not done. Now, you may not understand that unless you read the rest of the book that sort of explains all that. But here's the short version. No matter what pain you're struggling with, it's not your fault. We come hardwired at birth to seek pleasure and avoid pain, which locks us into the failure cycle of pain, brain chemicals released through stress, unhealthy control to change your circumstances, which ends up with more pain. This won't protect you from the natural consequences of your actions, knowing that it's not your fault, because there's almost always a choice, but it does explain why you do what you do, which is the result of fear-based programming, which is 1,000,000 times more powerful than your conscious ability to choose. I hope and pray that this helps you with the guilt and self-worth issues, as it did me when I discovered this truth. If you consistently make the wrong choice, you have the human version of a computer hard drive virus. Almost identical. So what do? You don't throw the computer out the window. You take the virus off. And then you're okay. That's what we're in the process of doing with you. Number two, the internal always creates the external, never the other way around. If you are expecting and trying to control external circumstances to make you feel happy and successful, you will never get there. You'll be stuck in a chronic cycle of stress as long as your goals are external or physical. And remember, these are principles to pray and meditate over every day for 40 days at least. Number three, what you really want most is not an external circumstance. It is the internal state of love, joy, and peace in your heart and mind in the present moment. You have to give up using willpower and expectations if you are ever going to get what you want. Why? Because Dr. Bruce Lipton from Stanford said the odds of trying to become successful or heal health issues or whatever it is in your life by willpower alone without deprogramming and reprogramming first, the odds of doing that successfully are approximately 1,000,000 to 1. Number four, what's in it for me or business deal love often looks like love on the outside, but it's really an attempt to use unhealthy control or convince another person to help you get the external circumstance that you think will make you happy. In other words, it's manipulation. It is a tit-for-tat kind of deal. Only when you love with no expectation of return will you experience what will satisfy and fulfill you long term. Number five, your willpower, fueled by fear and faulty programming, is an insufficient power source for life and success. It will, over time, leave you drained and lifeless, with 1,000,000 to 1 shot at true success. You have to deprogram your fear-based programming and reprogram with love-based programming, and then give up the end results in faith, belief, trust, and hope. Number 6, the internal state of love, joy, and peace is a miraculous power source for life and success. It always energizes you in the present moment and empowers you to produce positive external circumstances that would have been impossible for you to achieve by willpower alone. And number 7, last one, living in love for the next 30 minutes as best you can, giving up external and physical results and circumstances will, every time, produce success and happiness beyond your wildest dreams long term, no matter what. That's it. That's all 7. I would print this out, pray, meditate over it for 40 days, 80 days, 120 days. Really, I would say as long as it takes until you have a transformational aha. Now, if you don't want to do that, if you want to go ahead and get to the, I'll say, more tangible tools to make it happen on demand, that's fine. That's cool. That's why they're there. I've used them with lots and lots of people, okay? But I would keep these with you, pray and meditate over them constantly. Even after you are deprogrammed and reprogrammed and living in the present in love, because this keeps you on path. If you constantly look through your relationships, your day, whatever you're doing, through this lens, it keeps you in the present in love, giving up end result circumstances. It keeps you on that path. So commit to using this as your compass now and for the rest of your life. Have a wonderful day.